Farm. Family. Community. This is Midwest Farm Weekly.
Good morning, I'm Elaine Wells, and welcome to Midwest Farm Weekly. In your news headlines today, USDA announced $23.2 million in grants for 30 projects in Wisconsin. It's through the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Program. This program aims to support local and regional food producers by strengthening the middle of the supply chain. Of local interest, Wisconsin Food Hub Cooperative, based out of Wapaka, says they will invest the money in building infrastructure for agricultural products to reach high-need communities. In Brown County, Wello will spend the grant money to bridge the gap for socially disadvantaged farmers in sustainable agriculture. Also in Brown County, Seasonal Harvest will improve the infrastructure of its regional food hub, and the Ohe-Laku will use the grant money to strengthen intertribal food networks. The Stockbridge-Muncie community in Shawano will be increasing processing and storage capacity with these funds. Oneida Nation is funding its Food Hub and Sovereignty Food Initiative, all thanks to this grant. In Fond du Lac County, Olden Produce is working to optimize distribution and expand its supply chain with a $1.3 million grant. Door County's Clario Farmstead Pasta also gets a boost from this grant program as well. You've likely noticed egg prices across the nation are rising. It's leaving many shoppers and producers scrambling for answers. Local 5's Daniel Schuster spent some time with a local egg supplier to find out some of the reasons for this price hike.
The prices of eggs are skyrocketing in Wisconsin. The increase of prices are triggered by the bird flu.
And the price just went up because the AI problem with the birds. They can't get the birds. So we're supposed to get another new flock at the end of January.
An outbreak of avian influenza or bird flu has affected over 130 million chickens across the nation. Eggflation is up 118%, with an average carton of eggs costing $4.78 in Wisconsin.
In September of 2024, we were supposed to get a new flock of 1,000 birds, but because of the bird flu previous, they didn't have the birds, so we didn't get our new flock until November.
Being set back in egg production because older birds don't lay as many eggs and colder temperatures slow down the laying process.
Hopefully the people will be loyal to us and continue to buy the organics after all of this, because we did keep our prices fairly, the commercial prices right now are $6 a dozen. Ours are $5 a dozen. So hopefully people will stay loyal to the local farm.
The truth is there are just not enough birds to lay eggs.
There's not enough birds to produce the eggs. There's not enough eggs. There's an egg shortage, a true egg shortage, because so many birds were destroyed.
With fewer eggs available, grocery stores in the area are adjusting to ensure customers still have options.
With everything that's been going on with the eggs lately, you got S&R that's been raising prices lately. It's been kind of hard. So we've been trying to order a bunch of the fills right here, which are a little bit cheaper. So hopefully that helps.
In Green Bay, Daniel Schuster, Local 5 News.
And while Wisconsin prices are up, this might make you feel a little better. Shoppers in California are paying an average of nearly $9 for a dozen large eggs. That's quite a jump from the $5.56 they shelled out in late November. In addition to the bird flu impact, California also has rules about sourcing eggs from cage-free chickens only. The Dairy Strong Conference is happening January 15th and 16th in Green Bay. I chatted with one of the organizers about some not-to-be-missed sessions and networking events.
We have over 400 people registered to attend already, and really hoping that farmers come to learn some of the new things that we're showcasing as far as what they can expect from on the federal level and policy that we're watching under the new administration. There's a lot of rhetoric going on right now about what might be impacting our dairy farms, and we're bringing out 3 or 4 key leaders from Washington, D.C. to help have this conversation with our farmer members to help them understand how some of the changes that may be coming forward might impact their farm. We also have a track designed towards sustainability, not so much talking about practices, but really how can farmers use what they're doing in their conservation efforts to help make better management decisions and hopefully at times monetize those practices as well.
Great trade show. I walked around there for quite a while last year.
Yes, yes, and actually we're changing things up with our trade show. We're really excited to bring forward what we're calling the Hall of Exhibitors. And as we've told the 40 plus exhibitors that we have coming next week, we're breaking them out of their 10 by 10 booths. And what we're doing is we're setting them up in more of a networking atmosphere where they can gather around and talk to multiple people at one time without being confined to one space. Their corporate banners will be hanging above them, so they'll be easy to be found by the attendees, but really hoping this opens it up and making it a more friendly atmosphere for all those involved.
I know you have so many wonderful sessions. Why is it important for farmers to be a part of those? I know you had a lot of people sharing their story last year.
Yes, absolutely. This is really a farmer-driven conference. We really look to bring in those ideas and discussions to farmers that are really on their minds these days. And in order to do that, all of our sessions this year feature a panel discussion, and most of them involve farmers on those panels as well. So we're really looking to bring together, in many instances, an expert, if you will, maybe a researcher from a university or somebody at a national level. Oftentimes we're bringing in somebody else from the supply chain, maybe a processor. And then we bring the farmer in as well. And we can have a really robust conversation in that panel between those three entities and how they can work together to solve whatever issue we might be discussing at the time. We're really excited to be doing that, particularly with our sustainability track that we're working on, because obviously when we talk about what's going on the farm, it impacts everybody through the food supply chain, and having processors involved in that conversation really adds some value to it.
I hope to see you at the 2025 Dairy Strong Conference. It's happening January 15th through the 16th in Green Bay. You can register online or the day of at the KI Convention Center. We have a link to the full rundown of events in the Midwest Farm section of wearegreenbay.com. We send our congratulations to Megan Salentine of Kewaunee County, who was crowned 2025 Wisconsin Fairest of the Fairs. A group of 33 county and district fairists of the fairs vied for this highly sought after role. The Wisconsin Fairest of the Fairs program was created nearly 60 years ago to choose an ambassador for the Wisconsin Association of Fairs. Salentine will serve a one-year term and will attend over 50 fairs and events throughout the state, working with media and creating content to share online, all with the goal of promoting the importance of Wisconsin fairs. There is less than a month to apply for the position of the 78th Alice in Dairyland. This program started as a beauty pageant following World War I, but it has evolved into a full-time paid marketing position with the state. To see a list of requirements, you can check our website. Applications are due January 31st.
Well, Jeremy Hansen here from Fox Valley Technical College for Life on the Farm. And joining me today is Sam Mess. Sam, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, Sam, first of all, you are a student at Fox Valley Tech, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, well, what's your program of study?
So I started off with the animal science and then added agribusiness and then added agronomy. So this is the last class I'm taking here to finish up that agronomy degree.
And Sam, you've also had some positions with our Professional Agriculture Students Club here on campus, correct?
Yes. So last year I served as the president of our chapter, and then last spring at the national conference I had the opportunity to be elected onto the national board as a vice president.
Right, and appreciate your involvement with that and representing Fox Valley Tech. So let's talk about the training today. You know, what are we doing?
So we're here scouting crops. This is the Crop Scout training class. So we're looking at different plants or weeds mainly to identify weeds out in the field. We're looking at different insects and different like bugs you would find in corn, soybeans, alfalfa, wheat, those different plants. And then we're also looking at just anything you would find while you're scouting. So like damage from herbicide or nutrient deficiencies, stuff like that that you'll see in the field in the future in your career as an agronomist, if that's where you're going.
Right, and this is like a total integrated pest management class just for one week, correct?
1 week, yes. So it's right here in the beginning of January. I call it kind of like a wrap-up. We take a whole semester-long IPM class. They dive a little bit more in depth, and also a crop scout or crop science class that kind of goes into how the plants kind of mature and do all that, grow.
Right, and this is January,
Yes.
and nothing's really growing outside. You know, where do all these samples come from?
Yeah, so they have a greenhouse just on the other side of that wall there. They grow them all, they get the seeds, and so then we then ID them and can learn off of them. So we have actual live plants here. It's really nice. You're not just staring at pictures all day. And
right. So we have actual live, plants, and we have preserved, pests, insect specimens. Growing weeds in the greenhouse, I always get a kick out of that. So that's hilarious. So we are mentioning this is the first week of January, and classes really don't start until another week or so on campus. This is your vacation. Why are you doing this?
So this is that week in January here. It's nice to cram. They have a whole 3-credit class technically in this semester. It's also really nice to have all these kind of different options. So like I said, I was getting the 3 associate's degrees this way. I've done that in 2.5 years now. And nice to we have this nice building here and a lot of great instructors, keep them busy and keep everything in use.
Right. And do you know the history of the crop scouting class at all?
So it started about 28 years ago. They have multiple different instructors over the years, and I don't really know how it was like at first, but I definitely like how it is now, how you get to see all the different plants and specimens. And
well, I unfortunately am aware of the history, and yes, a bunch of instructors have taken charge of this, and a lot of guests come in to talk to you. So it's a great program. Is this program only for Fox Valley Tech students?
No, so it's open to I think just about anybody. So if you're an agronomist and want to complete some more training on how to properly scout fields, you can sign up for this as well.
Right, or government agency people, things like that. And how many people do you have in class?
I think there's 27 of us, somewhere around there, so quite a few. This is a decent sized class. Normally it's smaller, but this year we got quite a few here.
Right, and I would just want to point out and say thank you. Not much, rests here at our Ag Center. We're seems to be always open. We're always doing something here. So I'm really happy that you're coming on your vacation. Right. So Sam, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
So for Life on the Farm, I'm Jeremy Hansen.
Good morning, I'm Storm Team 5 meteorologist Alexis Staniak. As of Thursday, hard to believe that there's more snow into northern Texas as well as into Oklahoma than nothing here in northeast Wisconsin. Plenty of snow sitting in North and South Dakota and most of the Midwest after a big storm stretched through the southern half of the Midwest earlier in this past work week. We're still quiet with maybe a dusting left here in northeast Wisconsin, so we haven't accumulated any new snowfall in the past week. As of Thursday here in Green Bay, we're at just about 10.5 inches for the season. About 11.25 over into Bismarck, North Dakota, Wichita, Kansas at almost 4 inches, and places 2 hours south and east at about a foot now down in Indianapolis. Now, so that means that our drought monitor is showing negative numbers for many spots, especially here in northeast Wisconsin, and still negative numbers for most areas in the northern half of the Midwest. Starting to see more positive numbers where that heavy snowfall came through, stretching all the way from Denver up to about St. Louis is about 1.25 inches above where they should be for this time of the month. So this also means that we haven't added to any liquid precipitation in the past week here in Green Bay as well. About 0.02 of an inch is what we've accumulated so far for the year, which just began last week. Same thing into Bismarck, North Dakota. About 1/4 of an inch has been accumulated so far into central South Dakota, and about 1.5 inches has been accumulated down into Louisville. Good news is that parts of northeast Wisconsin are looking to stay above normal for precipitation as we head through the next 1 to 2 weeks, and most of the Midwest is looking to stay above average for precip as well. And as we head through the final months of winter, most of the northern Midwest as well as most of the Northeast is looking to stay above average for precip, whereas the southern half of the country looks to stay more below normal. But we are going to see more cooler temperatures return as we head through the next 1 to 2 weeks, so closer to the end of the month of January, as this cold spell returns for pretty much the entire country. So temperatures are looking to stay slightly below average as we move closer to the end of January, but we do have the chance to go above or below for temperatures as we head all the way through the end of the winter months. Looks like the southern half of the country and stretching through the northeast, temperatures are looking to stay above normal. Stay with us, more ag news coming up after the break.
You've heard that saying, bet the farm. Well, that's just what happens in a new movie called Green and Gold. It's about a Wisconsin dairy farm and the Packers. One of the stars of the film, Hollywood legend Craig T. Nelson, recently was in town for the premiere. As Samantha Petter shows us, he hit all the right notes.
Actor Craig T. Nelson sang the national anthem ahead of the Packers-Bears game on Sunday. But in addition to singing the anthem, Craig promoted his new movie on a Culver-sponsored blue carpet.
I've been a Packers fan since I was a kid. You know, when I got the script, it was the heart in the script was just amazing.
Green and Gold revolves around the Green Bay Packers and Wisconsin dairy farmers. It's the story of a Door County dairy farmer who bets on the Packers winning the Super Bowl to save his farm from foreclosure. And to Greg T. Nelson, it holds a special place in his heart.
My family, great-grandfather Gulbrand Nielsen from Norway, settled in Ettrick, Wisconsin. And they started the family farm there and a Lutheran church.
He's proud to say this film celebrates everything we love about Northeast Wisconsin.
The most important thing about this movie to me was that it represented a feeling, and it represented a spirit. It represented the heartland. It represented the language that I grew up with, which was value, tradition, and faith.
In Green Bay, Samantha Petters, Local 5 News.
You can see Green and Gold in theaters starting on January 31st, and next week on Midwest Farm Weekly, we're going to hear from the brothers who produced and direct this film about their connection to Wisconsin agriculture. Welcome back. This time of year, Wisconsin producers gather to share best practices and learn all about new research. Erica Bierstrom is the regional dairy educator for Kewaunee, Door, and Brown counties, here to share some events that you need to get on your calendar. It's meeting season.
It sure is.
Let's start with some upcoming meetings for our CAFO producers or those who are looking to maybe become one in the new year.
Yeah, so we have the CAFO meetings coming up, at least in northeast of Wisconsin. We have January 28th in Green Bay.
Okay.
January 29th in Fond du Lac, and January 30th in Manitowoc, and that's a morning meeting, and that's at the Farm Wisconsin Discovery Center. So the two meetings, Green Bay and Fond du Lac, are in the afternoon. Manitowoc is in the morning.
We'll talk about the importance of these meetings. What will producers walk away with?
Well, these meetings are a really great time to meet with DNR staff. There's educational aspects to it from Extension, but really this is their opportunity to talk to DNR staff. The fun thing about it is if they have questions, they can text them in. Nobody has to actually ask a question in person and kind of be called out for, hey, why are you doing it that way or whatever. So there's a lot of really good interactions at these meetings, and they're pretty short. They're only about 4 hours long, and then you're on your way.
Nice, very nice. Well, we also want to talk about the 2025 Midwest Manure Summit. Who should attend this one?
This one's open to pretty much everyone as well. This year we're focusing on biogases quite a bit in this meeting. It's at Lambeau Field, so it might be the most important thing happening at Lambeau Field this year. We'll say the draft is important too, of course, but this meeting is really great. We get a lot of farmers from quite a bit of the upper Midwest, and a lot of sometimes international exhibitors and presenters as well.
I appreciated that you include a lot of farmer panels. There's a lot of tech talk, because this is really what our producers are interested in.
Yes, so in the past, this meeting is held every other year, and it's developed and changed for many, many years. It started out as, let's talk about manure, but now we're talking about processing manure on farm. What can you do with it? What are the opportunities? And mostly, what's the technology?
And we need to register now because there's actually a pricing discount.
Yes, there is. Yes,
right.
So go ahead and check out that website and get on there and register, because again, there is that price discount, and this is a really, really good meeting, and Lambeau Field always treats us extremely well, so it's a good meeting to attend.
Well, I also look forward then to a vital event, one that I am part of, excited to be a part of. Introduce us to this and who should be attending this conference that is geared at women, but certainly a chance to highlight the important role that they have on our farms.
Specifically this meeting, Vital, Valuably Informed, Thriving Agriculture Leader, which is where Vital comes from. That name is for the women on the farm. We certainly invite men if they want to attend as well, but this is a meeting for women on the farm to meet with their dairy peers, talk about things that are going on in their farms, and a lot of, as we know, women on the farm play a dual role, mother, wife, trying to do things in the house, trying to do things on the farm. The topics this year we're really excited about. We have someone coming in and talking about farm transfer, tax implications. A local girl, Emily Sellner, who's an attorney now, she's going to be our speaker. We have Dr. Dawn Sockett talking about colostrum. A lot of the women on the farm manage the calves. Yeah. And then we have some local presentations for big farms and small farms. It depends on which session they want to attend. Farm or herd health topics, and then of course our panel, which includes you, Melaine, thank you, and 3 other speakers: Sue Detman, Daphne Holterman from Rosie Lane Farm, and Adam Bauman, the digital farmer, who he's our token man on the panel. So it'll be a really great session, and we're really excited about that. And we hope that women can sign up and come and visit us at Farm Wisconsin on March 7th.
We are going to have links for all of this because we would love to see you at them. I think I have plans to attend all of these events in some capacity. So we thank Erica for highlighting them. Head to the Midwest section of wearegreenbay.com. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us.